boss is actually the hiring manager for that position. So I sent him an email and I was like, this all happened a week ago before I got put in the whole quarantine thing. But I sent him an email. I was really professional, really polite, and just, hey man, just tell me what I did wrong so that I know how to fix some stuff for the next time, right? And anyway, I went to work today, first day back to work, and when I got there, right, first thing when I got to work this morning, I said, hey, come in my office, we'll talk about this feedback. And I was like, okay. So we went in there, and he proceeded to tell me, and I'll sum it up, he proceeded to tell me that I didn't get considered because he needs me where I'm at. Basically, I'm so useful that I can't get promoted. And I'll be honest with you, the anger boiled up in me a little bit because I didn't like what I was being told, and I didn't get out of the way. I did let my voice be heard, but I didn't cuss, which is that's a gigantic accomplishment for me being when I'm mad. But I let my voice be known and yada yada. But I had a pretty ill day all day at work, and on the way home, we stopped in the van because I ride the van to work, and we stopped at the van right there at the Circle K on 96. And I got out the car and I walked inside and I walked up to the beer cooler, so to speak, and I sat there for probably a good minute and a half. And then it was like them old V8 commercials. Jesus slapped me in the forehead and said, "Hey, bud, what you doing?" Like, and I turned around. That's not true. I grabbed a bag of cheese and I went to pay for that. But yeah, so that was mine today. But the reason I bring that up is, like it says, "For I am with you to deliver you." Well, that was delivering me from the sin right there, because it don't take, just like we've heard, people say at church. Once if you have that problem, it don't take much to get you started back into it at all. So anyway,
That's right.
that was my temptation, so to speak, for that. And it's like Bill said, it's weird because that don't happen too often in my world, not really.
Right.
And I'll be humble enough to piggyback up on that. Yeah, bus. I just use a piggyback term. Thanks, military. But but I mean, even I'm humble enough to admit, I was addicted to pornography. You can easily fall back into that. You're by yourself. You think you're by yourself. God's watching you
All the time.
all the time. And one, not only are you sinning against God to begin with, but think about who you're with. How would your wife feel about that? Knowing that you're looking at someone else that's not your wife. That's adultery.
Absolutely.
And
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that had a lot to do with the reason why I lost mine. If you want to know the truth, I'll be honest with you. I'll be one of the first ones to admit that I had a problem with it. And if I was to be, if men would be honest nowadays, I think 98% of them will tell you they can't go take a stinky without looking at it.
right.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, now will all men be honest? No, most definitely not.
And another problem with that too is, you sit down and watch a TV commercial, man. Sex is their sell point.
In everything.
Everything. I mean, it's like Satan has his hands all over everything. It's like, hey, Bill, do you like this commercial? Would any other commercial be that attractive to you if this pretty girl in a bathing suit was here? You know what I mean? It's like that.
That's right.
Satan's going to throw those temptations out 24/7.
On that note, and I don't know if all of y'all seen it. I don't watch a lot of TV, and I've seen it, so I assume probably you've all seen it. There is a commercial circulating right now that is the epitome of what we're talking about right now, and it actually has Satan in it, like the physical.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. She's sitting there talking to him.
Yeah, and they're going on a date.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, my jaw dropped up when I watched. So the first time I seen it, this can't be real. Somebody thought this was a good idea.
Is that the show that's called Lucifer?
No, it's one of them dating website commercials or whatever, and she finds a woman who looks extremely skimpy in her clothing. She finds Satan on the dating website, and they get to talking, and they wind up going out on a date. While it is a absurd display of what goes on in the world today, there is a little bit of truth in it, and I'm just going to use this because it's on my mind, so I'm going to say it. That's a good representation that people think of the devil, like people who don't study think of the devil as this red horn character, and that he's really nasty, and that he's really ugly, and that is not true.
Devil is gorgeous, man. He makes everything looks good to you.
No, let's not forget, he was an angel.
Correct.
No. He wasn't just an angel. Read the Bible. He was the most beautiful angel God ever created.
Exactly, and that's what I'm getting at. Is while that commercial is absurd and, in my opinion, slightly grotesque, there is a lesson in there, is that the devil will tell you whatever you want to hear, and he is suave and he is deceitful, but it's what's the word I'm looking for here? He's very
comforting.
Comforting, absolutely comforting, and he's got a certain suave about him when he tempts you with stuff. It's not coming as an ugly thing. It's coming up on a silver platter, like, hey man, you want to do this.
That's right.
It's mesmerizing.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah. And I want to say this for to go back on the pornographic issue, and I want to say this in case if y'all do decide to put this actually out there.
This is going to be out there.
Okay, for the
we're on segment 3 now.
For the people that are fighting those battles and those issues, I just want to say, please don't lead yourself to believe that it's okay, because what actually does, and I've been a victim of it, and I mean God has already convicted me of it. The brain is a very lustful and fantasizing type machine.
Yes, it is.
And what you do is, when you're watching this stuff, you're building up an expectation in the brain. And so when you go home, you have this build-up expectation, because let's just face it, you've went in the woods and took 3 dookies today, and you took a free second to look at this free porn because it's at the touch of your hand, and you see these different, honestly, vulgar type sceneries, and then you go home and you try to handle the one that God has given you with something that you've watched the devil play with, and we can't expect that our marriages are not going to fail.
Amen.
Because they are, because if she's a God-given woman to you, and you didn't just take it upon yourself to just choose one of your self-liking, it's not going to take but a mere matter of time for that woman to feel as if just your personal sex object.
That's right.
All right, I can build on that. I'm talking from experience. If you go all the way back to me and Dorothy in the very beginning, people see Dorothy now and they like, gosh, she's rough. If you would have seen her back then, she could have been a model for the Barbie doll portrait. She had the long blonde hair. She had the body build. She very easily could have been the Barbie doll model.
I agree with you, Bill, because I remember growing up, and we all, as little kids, we was all 13, 15 years younger.
Yeah, right.
She was the one that them youngins had to crush on.
That is 100% correct. She was absolutely stunningly gorgeous.
Yes, sir.
To me, and this is fixing to open a lot of eyes. To me, she wasn't nothing but a live-in sex slave. That's all. I wasn't never supposed to get her pregnant, and I wasn't never supposed to marry her. She was, them days you talking about in the apartments, she was there for one reason. And that's sad. I've told her, I've apologized to her for that. But that's why mine and her marriage didn't work. Because the only reason I married her is because I messed up and got her pregnant. Go ahead.
And to take some off of you, Bill, I've been in your same shoes, man. God has led me to an understanding of where I did the same thing with my soon-to-be first wife. And it's sad. Yes, it is. I'll regret it all my life. But at the same time, it's not something that I'm allowed to haunt me if I'm gonna give it to God and leave it to God.
That's right.
And I say that because I've had conversation with her, and I've openly admitted that, hey, look, some of the things that you said when we was fighting and arguing, when you felt like, you said that I just used you for sex. Well, now I know you're right.